Uhuhu. Uhuhu. Jak na Sylwestrze. Night City Wire.
Hello and welcome to this, the very first episode of Night City Wire, a brand new series from us at CD Projekt RED, where we'll be talking about all things Cyberpunk 2077. For today's episode, we'll be starting with a brand new trailer. One of our developers will be joining us to help unpack everything you're going to see. We'll have some news, an announcement about a secret collaboration. We'll be taking a look at some brain dance gameplay and welcoming back our developers just to have a chat about everything you're going to see. But there is one more thing. Media all over the world have been getting hands-on with Cyberpunk 2077, and when this episode finishes, you'll be able to go and check out exactly what they thought.
To jest nowe już, tak?
Let's get started.
Aż tak się nie zmieniło.
It is time to take a look at our brand new trailer, and after that, our lead quest designer Paweł Sasko will be joining us.
Paweł będzie,
have
super.
A few questions after watching this. So, let's take a look.
Dobra, dajcie znać, czy głośność ok, oglądamy.
Love this town. The city of endless opportunity. Ready to get your cherry popped? Yeah, come on!
City like any other.
Kurde. Jest jak było chyba.
Not just any other city. Legends are born here.
To jest taki gameplay trailer,
We're only
nie?
here because Dex is pulling the strings. Doubt that puts us in the same league as them.
But we are. They just don't know it yet.
November.
But if you got the cojones and you know how to use them, you can do damn near anything.
Unless you catch a bull.
Even then, you go out with a bang, right?
You know, you can make heaps more eddies as a motivational speaker.
Yo, Mr. V, a pleasure.
So what's the gig, Dex? You meant to come out in one piece?
O kurde, tam było poza miastem, nie?
How about we go over the plan?
There's this prototype tech, a biochip to be precise. Jobs to grab it.
Guessing it belongs to a corp.
Kurde, wydaje mi się, że tu będzie gameplay rewelacyjny.
Thought you could blackmail me, fucker?
High risk, high reward. First rule of the afterlife.
Ka-ching, baby.
Goes without saying, we do
Kurde,
this on the
wygląda
hush.
ładnie.
Ideally, no bodies, not a one.
To już na silniku.
Sounds simple enough.
Need lead, assholes!
Is it gonna be dangerous?
Don't you worry, mi amor. We're bulletproof. Get your ass moving now!
Nie no, jest
What the fuck
klimat,
just happened in
jest.
there?
Can't stop digging Night City.
Fucking major leagues. Happy now, Jackie?
Yep, that's fucking high! Time to bail!
Oh my god, we're so fucked.
No, niezłe. Niezłe.
What the fuck?
Can't risk it, V.
And you, who are you?
O kurde.
Fuck.
No. Johnny lepiej wygląda.
So the trailer contains footage from the game's prologue only, but there
Ładnie.
was an awful lot in it.
Ładnie.
So, Paweł,
Jest
why
naprawdę
don't
świetny
you try
gameplay
and help
taki.
us unpack everything that we
Soczysty.
just saw?
Oh yeah, I mean absolutely. I can
O
try.
kurde, teraz będą się
what you
rozpływać.
have just seen is only the prologue of the game. So that awesome stuff is only happening in the
Hey,
first
ładnie,
few
ładnie.
quests. What the trailer shows you is really our stage, the Night City. You know, this gigantic city built of 6 completely
Kurde.
unique districts.
Nie no,
surrounded
jest
by
pewnie.
seventh one
O, to jest
called
właśnie
the
poza
Path.
miastem,
As a
nie?
player, you are meeting
Pokazywali
Jack.
jeden
Jack is your
taki z
friend.
Mad Maxa
Now,
jakby.
they together
Pojazd wcześniej.
are trying to reach out for something that is very precious. They are trying to
No i
reach out
tutaj
for
wybory,
this
nie?
ship
Wybory
of
będą ważne.
immortality, this gateway
Kurde.
to eternal life. Jackie
Ale jest taki
introduces you
filtr,
to
nie? W tej
Dexter-
grze taki
He's a
nierealistyczny,
very
ale
important
spoko.
person in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. He is able to provide the player with various jobs and contracts to be able to gather money, to be able to modify their bodies, push themselves to the limits, to put their hands on the chip. But
Nie wiem, też macie takie wrażenie, że właśnie w tym cyberze jest taki filtr nierealistyczny, ale taki ma być
really
chyba,
cool
nie?
things in this trailer, and there's a few that I would just love to talk about a little bit more for the people at home.
Kamery
So
nawet
let's start
ładnie
with talking
podpisane.
about a gang called the Mox. Now, we see a few flashes of them in this
Jak
trailer.
Wieśku
I
dba o-
personally think they're really cool and one of my favorites, but can you give us a little bit more information about them?
Oh yes, so the Mogs is one of the gangs that player is going to interact with throughout the game. The Mogs is the gang that has been formed in 2076 after death of Elizabeth Borden. She was called Lizzie.
Ale naprawdę gracze będą musieli się do tej gry przyzwyczaić, że ona taka jest, bo nie wierzę, że ludzie ogarniają, co to ma być. Wydaje mi się, że kompletnie nie. Liczą na zupełnie coś innego.
So earlier on, you did mention a seventh district, a place called the Badlands. Now, we saw a few shots of this in the trailer, but I'd love for you to give us a bit more detail about the district outside of the city walls.
Okay, so the Badlands is this
Wybory
like
będą
dead,
spore.
space going around the whole Night City. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse that space in your car or motorcycle. This is a space that is inhabited by the nomads. Nomads are living in different families and they are traveling across that space in convoys made out of the cars and motorcycles. And as a player, you'll be able to traverse and access different type of open world content that has been prepared specifically for you to get that awesome feel of the Badlands.
To wygląda jak taki Mad Maxi.
In the trailer, we also saw like a completely metal creature. Now, he didn't look like he was from the Maelstrom gang. This looked like something else. So please tell the people at home, who is this
Trochę taki
giant
GTA
metal
50 lat
monster?
później. No, w skrócie można tak powiedzieć, ale to się właśnie wszystko zmienia, nie?
Cyberpunk 2020 by our senpai Mike Pondsmitha. Adam Smasher is a fully converted.
To jest najważniejsze, że to jest właśnie 50 lat później i tu mamy wszystko inne. Technologie. Zwykły człowiek tu wygląda inaczej, nie?
In this trailer, we do see some flashes of a Ripper Doc
called
Victor Vector. I think if people have watched our previous gameplays, they might remember him. But I'd really like for you to give the people at home some more information about what Ripper Docs are and how they'll be interacting with them when they play Cyberpunk.
So, Ripper Docs in our game, they are surgeons. They are like a specific type of a job in the social ladder of Cyberpunk. They are accustomed and specialized in replacing limbs to the metal ones. They can basically update your body, enhance your body, change you into this walking war machine. And as a player, you are going to meet different kind of Ripper Docs in the game, craft your own relationship with them. Some of them are like important characters for a story. Through that, you will invest eddies that you're gathering to turn your body into this tool that allows you to survive
ale te wszczepy to już naprawdę mogą być
thank you so
hardkorowe.
much for joining us. I know you'll be back later in the episode because you're going to be helping us to analyze the Braindance gameplay. But before that, we do have some news to share. Earlier in the year, we announced that if you pick up Cyberpunk
A podobno ma być kilka takich epizodów właśnie na City
you'll be able to play it on Xbox Series X when the console launches. And just in case you missed it, it will be the same for PlayStation players as well. If you pick up Cyberpunk 2077 on PlayStation 4, you'll also be able to play it on PlayStation 5 when the console launches. And that's not all. There will be a free upgrade for Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5.
Czyli na Playkę też darmowy upgrade. No i spoko. Nie ma co doić.
Before we reveal our first look at the Braindance gameplay and welcome back our developers for a chat, there is just one more thing we want to announce. Something that we've been working
Ja myślę, że tak świat nie będzie wyglądał w 77.
We are very excited to announce our partnership with Studio Trigger and Netflix to bring you Cyberpunk Edgerunners, a standalone anime set in the Cyberpunk universe, which we've been working on for some time now. Edgerunners is due to launch in 2022, but for some more information, let's go to the team in Tokyo.
What? Tak, trailer był, gameplay trailer.
My name is Saya Elder. I am the Japan-based producer for Cyberpunk Edgerunners. What I do basically on this project is that I am a fixer, to put it in the words of the Cyberpunk
to jest
universe.
animacja, tak?
We are a game company. We are a bunch of nerds, and wherever there are nerds, there's gonna be anime fans.
Te światła,
so
nie?
it was always a dream
Takie
for
typowe.
us to make anime. When we began this project, we were certain that we didn't want to make a recreation of the game. Cyberpunk Edge Runners is a standalone story set in the same universe.
No,
The
jakiś
stage is still Night
chyba.
City, but everything else is totally new.
Buja.
New characters, new story. I do like to think that it's going to be a great gateway for newcomers to come and check
Kurde, ale
Cyberpunk game and
uniwersum
also the
będą
Cyberpunk
bardzo
genre
chyba
as a whole.
eksploatować. Filmy,
Right
kurde,
now we're
seriale,
in
gry.
Nakano, which is one of the biggest anime
Komiksy.
meccas of the world. I'm gonna take you to Studio Trigger right now because we have the wonderful opportunity to talk to the Dream Team that will be bringing you this anime.
こんにちは。トリガーの代表取締役の大塚です。
監督の今石です。
Komiks już jest, no, zapowiedziany. Ten Trauma Team, nie?
ゲームのサイバーパンクのファンの方。
No muszą rozwinąć, bo to
今回初めて
wiecie.
触れる方両方に満足していただけるようにアニメを作るつもりです。よろしくお願いします。
今回はそのサイバーパンクという僕らが
To może
10
być
代の
mocny nurt w
一ファ
najbliższych
ン
latach.
しか過ぎなかった頃に生まれたジャンル、そういうジャンルのものをまた、時代が何周もして
Tak, trailer już był
作れるとい
taki.
うのが非常に楽し
Trochę
みです。
Paweł Sasko opowiadał o
10
rozgrywce.
年ということで、監督に今石、キャラクターデザインに吉成というトリガーの最強の布陣で、トリガー10周年にふさわしい作品にしていきたいと思います。お楽しみに。
W 2020, no taka animacja. W 22, sorry. Nowi bohaterowie mają być.
Now it is time to show you some gameplay of Braindance. This is a feature that you'll
Tak, na
experience when you
Netflixie
play Cyberpunk
animacja taka.
2077. Braindance is essentially a recording of somebody else's experience. It allows you to relive their sense of sight, smell, touch, and even hearing, all thanks to a special device. After the gameplay, I will be
słuchawy
welcoming
też
back
ma
Paweł
cyberowe.
Sasko, and we'll also be joined by Patrick Mills, our senior quest designer and all-round lore master, who will be helping to answer your questions and give you some explanation on how you'll be interacting with Braindance when you play Cyberpunk 2077. So, let's take a look.
Plan simple. Do nothing.
Okej, dobra, trochę
You go
rozgrywki.
in, snatch the cash, get out, and we sell the BD to those psycho freaks.
Fajnie
on
by
our
było
studio.
bez cięć.
Got it.
And remember, everything on full blast. They'll spot us extra for a wicked adrenaline high.
Kurde, ale no ten
Okay. On you go.
klimat tu jest gęsty. Trzeba będzie się do tego widoku takiego rozmazanego przyzwyczaić. To tak wszędzie, nie?
Everybody, on the ground. I want to see you kissing the flooring. Money, now, or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God. Well, yeah, hey, now, before I blow your fucking head off.
Tak, fotel. Wszystko cyberowe, kurde. Wow.
Slow, deep breaths. Your cortisol and adrenaline spiked, but the soft activated your hormone blockers.
Kurde,
Nothing
graficznie wygląda lepiej niż wyglądało chyba.
That was too much.
Ale to i tak nie ma co wymagać, bo to ma na tą generację lecieć.
Pain.
Jest bardzo duży świat, nie?
Stress is hope. Hope wrapped up in something else.
Jest lepiej, no.
Probably took a
Ta
booster
postać
just
świetnie
before.
wygląda.
You'll be fine.
Znaczy to jest takie...
Everything set up?
Nie jest takie bardzo realistyczne, to widać. Tak jak w GTA coś takie, nie? No, animacje są super.
I'll sever the link to the BD roller's sensory array.
Uncharted już niebawem, spoko.
Whole scene's yours. Full cam control and analysis mode, so move around, zoom in and out, whatever else you come up with. Think of it as your own little sandbox. So analysis mode, you control playback, can even pause when you feel the need. Then you use the editor console to unpause.
Kurde, ale to jest... Gra jest bardzo skomplikowana, naprawdę. Tu się temu... włamiemy do mózgu.
Got it.
Dream as hell, right? Well, that's not all. You can speed things up or rewind, whatever
To nie jest
you like.
takie, a idziemy sobie tu,
Give it a try. Rewind,
strzelamy,
roll it back to the
wychodzimy.
top. All good, neat. Now try fast.
I moim zdaniem tutaj na poziomie gameplayowym jest bardzo dużo do zrobienia. A fabuła to już swoją drogą. I wybory.
Okay. You can also reset the recording. That'll take you right back to the beginning. Try it.
Tak.
Now for some fun. This here's why you came in the first place. In analysis,
No to jest takie, nie jest realistyczne, totalnie takie bliskie, no. Zupełnie inne niż na przykład właśnie ostatnie The Last of Us, nie?
Now scan it.
Plan simple. Do nothing odd. Don't get creative. You go in, snatch the cash, get out. And we said we need to go sacrifice some shit. And remember, keep moving left. As long as I'm leaving it.
Okay,
Do
right here.
powodzenia.
Excellent.
Jedno słowo. Skanowanie.
Now heads up.
Skanowanie to będziecie powtarzać 1000 razy na godzinę. Skanowanie wszystkiego,
This
nie?
tag records everything, every little detail, even the sights and sounds the roller was never aware of. To see the sources of the recorded sensory signals, switch to the audio layer in the editor. Go ahead and try that now. Okay, good. Now you should see several sound signatures in the store. Choose one and hone in on it.
Kurde.
Pack of 6, case of brosif, and a couple of zappers.
Okay, we have a deal today on 2 flavors, curry and surf and everybody!
So, any thoughts?
No i to jest ta scena, tak?
Seriously,
I coś możemy
what's
jeszcze
happening right next to me?
wyciągnąć tutaj za informację.
Recording implants work. They pick up everything, all the elements in the background. Then an editor tweaks them, makes them pop. Keep playing with the sound, explore it a bit. We'll move on when you get bored.
Ja cię kręcę.
What I see you kissing the flooring! Money!
Sometimes you can analyze extra layers in the raw. Stuff the roller's cyberweb.
Co, tego zeskanujemy teraz?
Like what?
Ev's got Kuroshi optics that grab infrared, meaning you should be able to grab heat signatures from her recording.
Huh. Hella nice.
Scanning works on peeps too. Walk up to the wounded chick. Try scanning her. Alright, next thing. Scroll forward to the part where our artist gets a lead injection.
Or I will fucking drop you, I swear to God! Well, hey, now, fucking head off!
No co ty żeś zabrał?
See that? They
O
shot
kurde.
it, you never saw it coming. But you will. Here it comes. My favorite part of the game. See the blinking thing over the entrance? Surveillance cam.
A.
Must have caught our shooter. You'll see in a sec. Cam feeds to the screen behind the clerk. Roll back to where the screens in the cage
Możemy
feed,
sobie rozjaśnić tam,
then
czy nie?
scan it.
Kurde. Ale skomplikowane.
His own Chumba shot him. Probably planned to all along. Must have got a nice slice of cred on the black market for a BD like this. BD freaks are ready to pay a premium for a real flag.
No ale co, najwyżej na PS5 odpalić.
You can exit.
Jak nie będzie się miał kompa.
Yeah, it's impressive, right? It's too bad most of the BDs we do here are only good for flogging the law.
Rozbudowane to
So
śledzenie.
braindance is a pretty big part of the Cyberpunk universe. It's not just something used for adult films. There is an awful lot to it.
No,
and there's
bardzo
two
ciężka,
sides I'd
nie?
really like you guys to help me explore.
Może
First
być
is the
gra do
lore.
opanowania.
So how this actually fits into the universe, and then there's the gameplay side. So how players will be interacting with it.
Ale
So,
każdy
Patrick,
będzie
could
miał
you tell
inną
us
grę
more
tu.
about the lore of braindance?
Można
I would
zaręczyć.
love to. So in the world of Cyberpunk 2077, braindance was invented way back in the early 2000s at UC Santa Cruz. It was developed as a way of recording a
Tak, jak
person's
ktoś chce na szybko,
experiences
to
and then playing them
luta w
back for
łeb i
someone
lecimy.
else, so that they could relive them as though it was happening to them. It was originally used for things like therapy and prisoner rehabilitation, but by 2077 it's become this global media industry, including things like movies,
Ja bym
mass
chciał tym
entertainment,
Netrunnerem,
things like
ale
that, video games and
zobaczymy.
interactive
Na pewno
things,
się
and of
kilka
course
razy przejdzie.
adult fare as well. Now, in our game, we deal a lot with black brain dances, or XBDs as we call them, and there are different types of those, but the one that you saw in the trailer just there was a flatliner. Now that's where the person recording it actually dies during the recording. And it's popular with sort of an illicit kind of a thrill, but A mercenary can also
to będzie
use them for
wielowymiarowa
various
giera, no.
things, and you'll see that in the game, of course.
And from the gameplay perspective, we have been working a lot throughout last years trying to figure out the best way how to use the braindance in the game as a mechanics. So what we have settled on is this braindance editor mode. As a player,
Zależy jakie masz oczekiwania, najlepiej w ogóle nie mieć.
In the editor mode and see different clues that have been registered on the peripheral of given actor. Now, as a player, you can slide on the timeline of that recording, back and forth, trying to uncover different clues. And that clues are actually telling a story in the game. So, as a player, you will run different investigations that will lead you to different mysteries, and you will uncover them actually using that braindance as a mechanics in the game.
So, as Pavel was saying, we use braindance as a storytelling tool. It's not a collectible. It's not something where you're going to go in and you're going to play it and you're going to be like, I've seen this before. What we use braindance for is to give you a keyhole into the life of the residents of Night City. And we can explore things like childhood trauma, religion, various philosophical ideas in a way that you might not otherwise experience in a story about a mercenary on the tough streets.
So we tried to talk about some of the aspects that we think the community will find really exciting, but, you know, while you're both here, I'd love to know, what is it about Cyberpunk that you guys are really excited for? Patrick, why don't you start?
So, one of the things that I'm most excited about in this game is the
Teraz już powinien być ten listopad. Już nie. Musiałaby się jakaś katastrofa stać, bo to już nowa generacja idzie, nie?
And all of these events and all of those things, but those don't mean anything unless they connect with characters.
Bez przesady.
And so when we come up with a character, we start with their function. What is this person? What do they do in the story? But we don't stop there. We go back and we figure out what was their childhood like? What was their upbringing like? What kind of obstacles did they face in this harsh reality, and did they overcome them? And how did they overcome them, or did they not overcome them, and why? And you can see all of those things in their environment, in their dialogues, in sort of how they operate in the world. And we come up with that for all of our characters. Now you look at someone like Victor Vector, and you're going to see stories about his past in his environment, in his dialogue. You know, we come up with that stuff even if we don't use it in the game, because it helps inform us as to who these characters are.
And for me, I would not be myself if I would not say that I'm the most excited about our quests. Like with our Witcher 3 team, with Patrick, and like everybody that has stayed with us since the Witcher 3 time, we really have grown so much. We have learned so much, and we have used all that experience to put them into the quest that we have made. And you will not find really a filler in this game. Like everything has a meaning. Like we put so much effort into making sure that everything is rewarding, is interesting, is talking about characters, as Patrick said, is talking about worlds, is talking about emotions, like touching the player in a really, like a real way. And I just can't wait to find out what you think.
Pavel, I know you mentioned story and quests and writing quests, and when I was last in the studio, I had a notebook on your desk, and I would love for you to show everybody this notebook.
Okay, Holly, I mean, you asked for it. So, this is my notebook. It says Salsa Quest Designer. The reason is because I dance salsa, and I'm a quest designer, so you know. So I started this notebook actually when we were really starting Cyberpunk. At the very beginning, I wrote like a first note, and it says pretty much something along the lines of that we were starting with a prototype. And then, you know, I kept on basically noting things that we've been working on for like next years. I remember once when our concept artists actually approached me, and they said that they want to take a look on my notebook. And I was like, what for actually? And they took some pictures. And they told me, yeah, well, you know, because we are looking for a reference material for notes of a psychopathic killer. so yeah, well, you may find maybe some of my notes in the game.
Ja wiem, ale no.
Pavel and Patrick, thank you so much for joining me. I'm pretty lucky because I have read some of the stories that you and the team have written for Braindance, and I'm pretty excited for people to discover them. But before we do finish today's episode, there is just one more thing we'd like to talk about. Earlier in this episode, I mentioned that media have been getting hands-on with the opening of Cyberpunk 2077, and they should be posting their impressions right about now. And if you missed anything from today's episode, don't worry, we'll be uploading everything to our channels very soon.
Jak ktoś już wrzucił, to dajcie znaka, bo powinien być teraz zalew informacji. No tak, no Mike to wiadomo. Tyle, tak? Czyli takich odcinków będzie więcej.